He leads us all the way, playing proper football, the Sheff United way. Ale, 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 ale.
Oh, there we go. I think I was muted the whole of that because my mic decided to just mute itself. So let's start again, shall we? There we go. Welcome to the Sheff United way. I hope everyone's doing well. That was really weird. It's only because I saw it blinking at me, and that means that it's muted. That's the only reason why I knew that was the case. Start again. Welcome to the Sheff United way. My name's Nick. I'm just going to react to Sheffield United 2, Portsmouth 1. And should we have won this game? We did. That's all that matters. That's really all that matters. Because I might be a little bit negative in this one. So if you have the faint-hearted, probably not one for you. Yeah, it was a tough watch, Ian. You're absolutely right. Thanks, everyone, for getting in the comments right now. Ian, wow, that was a tough watch. If we don't improve, I'm afraid we might not make it. Terrible performance, great result, but we can't carry on playing like this, can we, says Kirk. Absolutely agree, guys. Let's get into the match reaction. Yeah, it wasn't a good one. Did not enjoy it at all. It wasn't as good as 90% of games this season. I walked away saying that's the worst performance all season, but we end up saying that, don't we? When we're a little bit, I don't know, a little bit disappointed with how we played. Don't get me wrong, Hull, losing 3-0 to Hull, I enjoyed that less, a lot less. But no, it wasn't a good game today. We certainly didn't play very well, and we just should be creating more big chances. I feel like tonight we created 3 big chances and scored 2 of them, or maybe 4 big chances. I want to see us being creative. Do you know what? Maybe not big chances. Maybe between small and big. Maybe those medium chances we need to be creating more of, because I'm bored watching us right now. And so many people are going to be in the comments having a go at me for being very, very negative. But if you've watched that game tonight, especially in the ground, surely you agree that we've been poor for quite a while and we're not creating enough chances. We're taking chances. Don't get me wrong. We are taking chances. But that could have, do you know what? I was going to say we could have scored 3 or 4 goals in that game from the big chances that we created. Portsmouth could have had more. Portsmouth could have won this game 6-5. Couldn't they? Anybody that's watched that game, you can't tell me otherwise. Portsmouth had some fantastic chances, and they could have easily picked up 3 points today. If Portsmouth would have been not a better team, but Portsmouth would have been more clinical in front of goal, they could have scored lots and lots of goals in this game. So it's very disappointing for me, I'll be perfectly honest. Scott saying Borough will run straight through us on Wednesday. It is a worry. It's a big worry that, again, no offense to Portsmouth, you're near the bottom, and we're letting teams near the bottom come to Bramall Lane and have a lot of joy, a hell of a lot of joy. So let's talk about the team first and foremost. The team that we put out. I think everyone, again, I think it was like the Hull game, or maybe the one before. No, it was the Hull game. We were very excited because we've gone very attacking, and we went very attacking the whole game, and it went very, very wrong. And straight away we were like, do you know what? Maybe Wilder was right, making sure we defend from the front, but make sure we defend well, and then get the goals when we get the chances. And we went really, really attacking again. We've gone Campbell. We've gone Cannon up top, 2 up top, which we've barely done all season. Then we went Brereton Diaz out on the left. Understandable, completely understandable. Harmer out on the right. I saw it coming, I'll be honest. And then 2 very, very defensive midfielders in Sousa and Chowdhury. I like Sousa and Chowdhury, but I want to see them play together away from home. Yeah, you might not agree. You might say, Nick, you're being daft. Like, they're both very, very good players and they both can play together, but we're not giving the ball to the players that can do the damage quick enough. And for me, it's a lot of backwards and sideways, backwards and sideways. And that doesn't get you up the field and that doesn't score you goals. And we were very lucky today / tonight to score 2 goals from that game. We'll get on to talking about them in a moment. But yeah, we went Campbell and Cannon up front, so 2 up top again, which I don't think we've done all season. 2 slightly outside forwards, if you like. I don't know if that means anything, but Brereton Diaz out on the left and Harmer sort of on the right / in the midfield or in the attacking midfield area, and then 2 defensive midfielders. It don't work for me it doesn't work for me at home. And I think when City Pet came on, we got the ball moving. We were moving a lot quicker from back to front, and I much preferred it when that happened. So yeah, it wasn't. It looked great. Don't get me wrong. If you look at the lineup, it looked great, but it didn't feel great on the pitch, and especially in the first half where, without no time, the ball's down the left-hand side. Harry Clark comes to engage. It's played round him. And then Diaz can't get back quick enough to stop the cross. The cross comes in. Burrows kind of can't get in touch with his man. And the ball's blazed over the bar from inches. And I'm like, wow. Like, we can't keep this going. We can't keep this happening. And then how many games this season has there been players underneath the crossbar missing easy chances like that? That's 2 in one game. That's barely happened all season. So it just shows how really poor we were defensively, and not just from the defense, but from the midfield too. Because I'll be honest, if you've got 4 defenders and then you've got 2 defensive midfielders sort of making sure that, you know, everything's snuffed out, why is Brereton Diaz having to track back that far to very, very, very right back to stop the cross? Now, that shouldn't have to happen. He shouldn't have to do that for me. And fair enough if he is doing that or has been told to do that, but he certainly didn't stop the cross. And it's a great ball into the box, and it's a really, really poor miss. Really poor miss. But those are quite difficult sometimes when they're coming at you pretty quickly and you don't expect the ball to land to your feet. And yeah, you've blazed it over the bar from really close. Obviously, in the 24th minute, Gus Harmer makes us take the lead. I'm sure they had a couple more chances. I've written down as much as what I can remember. But Gus Harmer gets the ball on the left-hand side. He comes in off that left-hand side and just rolls the ball into the corner. I think the keeper gets a slight hand on it, but not enough. It just felt like the easiest goal anyone would ever score. So Chowdhury gets a little bit of a touch on it into Vinny Souza. Vinny Souza plays a fantastic ball into Brereton Diaz, who lays it out wide to Harmer. He gets on that left-hand side, and he just kind of moseys on into the box. He's got a player kind of watching him, but that's all he really does as Gus comes onto his right-hand side and just kind of side foots it into the corner. It's a great finish, but it feels like it's weird because I've watched football for many years, 30 years plus, and I looked at that and thought, why isn't football that easy? Because it just looks so simple. And I think the main reason for that is it was poor defending. It was really poor defending. They should have been on Gus. They probably should have doubled up on him, and they didn't. And it was pretty easy to just slide it into that corner. And then after we scored, I thought, that's a good time to go to the toilet. Yeah, that's a great time. I've had a few beers before the game. That's a great time to go to the toilet. And then I hear from the toilet a cheer. And I've not missed a goal for many a year. Many a year. So I don't know how soundproof the toilets are. So when I hear this big cheer, I'm thinking, that doesn't sound that loud, but I wonder whether, you know, the toilets are just really soundproof. No, it wasn't. It was Portsmouth scoring. It was Ogilvy from a fantastic ball in from, is it Josh Murphy? Is that the lad that played for Wednesday? Let's have a look. It is Josh Murphy. Did he play for Wednesday? No, he didn't. Wigan, Norwich, MK, Cardiff, Preston, Oxford, Portsmouth. He's played for a lot of teams, a hell of a lot of teams. But that's a fantastic ball into the box, in all honesty. But again, Harry Clark cannot stop the cross. I feel like we've gone from saying that Gilchrist has had a couple of poor games to us bringing in Harry Clark, who's completely off it. I'm not saying that he's a bad player in the slightest, but he's completely off it, and he's struggled to stop that cross, and that's the cross that ended up being the only goal of the game for Portsmouth. So he needs to be better. He needs to be a lot better. But Anel as well. Anel, if he's struggling at that right hand side, stopping that cross, Anel should really be at the front post, ready to get rid of this ball. And he's kind of ball watching. Ogilvy gets in front of him, gets a foot on the ball, and it's a good finish. There's not really much the goalkeeper can do about this one, but yeah, it's just a poor goal to concede from Harry Clark and Anel's point of view, in all honesty. And you know, it's two poor mistakes because, you know, when the ball's on the left-hand side like that, you're thinking we should have enough to stop that from going in the back of the net, unless it's something really special. And it certainly wasn't anything special for me. But 27th minute, it's 1-1. And you know what? As the game goes on and on and on, I'm thinking we're not really creating enough for me to think that we're going to win this game. And I was a little bit worried, I will be honest. I was worried that we weren't going to get that winning goal. Obviously, 2-1. We ended up winning the game, and that's all that matters. But in the 58th minute, we made a triple substitution. I think that's made all the difference because obviously one of the players scored. In the 72nd minute, Brewster came on. So the winning goal came from a player that came on in the 58th minute, and the assist came from a player that came on in the 72nd. And you know what? That's one thing that I've been a little bit disappointed with Wilder this season. The players that are coming on the pitch are not really making the difference, and they certainly did tonight. They scored a really good goal, and you know what? You can look at that and you can think, well, Brewster got a bit of space on the left-hand side. He puts the ball into the box, and Raksaki taps it in. Like it's an easy goal to score. It's not an easy goal to score. And actually, maybe I should have given props to the Portsmouth goal a little bit more. Sorry, no, ignore me. The reason why I was going to give props was because Ogilvy missed an absolute sitter underneath the crossbar, but made a fantastic run from the right-hand side. I think he lost Burrows and Diaz and then got in between Robinson and Anel, and he nearly finished it off and nearly scored. But no, that was really, really good movement, and so was the winning goal, because Raksaki's in the middle of the box. I think he can't. I'm trying to remember now. He loses his man anyway, and it's Ogilvy, I believe. I'm talking about Ogilvy a lot here, but I think he kind of pretends to go front post and then backs off and goes round the back into the middle of the goal, and he's able to tap the ball in. Fantastic ball by Brewster. So big respect to Brewster for scoring this goal in the second. For creating this goal in the second half. Do you know what? I've not even mentioned the fact that Portsmouth scored, and I'll be honest, didn't see it. Did not see it in the slightest. Can't even comment on it. I really can't, because again, I went to the toilet. No, I didn't. Sorry, I went for a beer at half time, and I didn't get back in time, and they'd scored by the time I got up. So it's been one of those days. I'd had a few beers, and I thought, do you know what? I'll let my hair down. I've not let my hair down for a while, and the two times that I've been away from the game, I've missed 2 goals. Luckily, one of them, only one of them counted, and I saw the 2 goals that mattered, and that was the Blades scoring 2 goals. So, do I think it's a fair result? I don't know. I honestly don't know, because Portsmouth created that many chances and missed that many chances that actually no, they probably deserve something from the game, at least a point, if not 3. And but the main thing is the 3 points ended up in our back pocket, and that's all that matters. Yeah, it wasn't a good day at the office for me. Harry Clark was, got beaten a few times tonight, and it needs to be better than that. It needs to sharpen up massively. I think Gus was probably the pick of the Blades players. I love Brereton Diaz. Everybody knows I love Brereton Diaz. I thought he had a very, very average game, even though he picked up an assist for Gus Harmer's goal. He just passed it to him, didn't he? Campbell, I love Campbell to bits. I think he's a fantastic striker. He runs in behind really, really well. But I'm not sure 2 up top is right for him. Cannon, not sure if 2 up top's right for him either. So maybe it needs to be a Brereton Diaz, Raksaki on either wings, and then 1 striker through the middle. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's got to be Tyrese Campbell. Maybe it's got to be Tyrese Campbell, because Tyrese Campbell, has been there, done that, got the T-shirt, scored the goal in the big game, scored many goals before he got injured. So maybe that's going to be Tyrese Campbell, and Cannon comes off the bench. He's 22 at the end of the day, Cannon. So he's still got a lot to learn, and you can't just bring someone in and just plonk them in the team and just expect it to work. And I feel like that's happened a lot recently with all these players that we brought in. Clark coming straight in, played okay against Derby, was found wanting a little bit today for me. Chowdhury's been fine, absolutely fine. But it's too defensive. It's way too defensive. Chowdhury and Vinny Souza together, too defensive for me. If that's going to work, Vinny Souza needs to play that Ollie Arblaster role, where he's not just going to be that player that gets the ball and passes it to someone a bit better than him. He's got to break the lines. He's got to, move with the ball when he gets the ball. He can't just sit there and just pass it sideways, because we can't have 2 central midfielders doing that. For me, we need to have one that, sticks the boot in, gets the tackles in, gets the interceptions in, and then gives it to someone a little bit better. If that player is then giving it to somebody whose job is to do the exact same thing, that's just an extra pass that we didn't need to make. So for me, that's got to be a Tom Davis, or that's got to be a City Peck, because they're both technically, in my opinion, better than Vinny Souza and Chowdhury at sort of progressing the game a little bit more, passing the ball, moving with the ball a bit quicker. So that's just my opinion, though. People have got their own opinions. That's absolutely fine. I'm happy to listen to opinions, but that's just mine. I thought it was a really, really poor showing from the Blades today, and we've really got to step it up. Now, you've probably seen videos on this channel. I've been speaking to people who support other football teams, talking about championship teams, though. Benjamin Bloom, Ipswich fan, not championship anymore. Ryan from Second Tier Podcast is a Derby fan, and I've also spoken to Jacob, who's a Burnley fan, but he's a championship YouTuber. All of them are a little bit underwhelmed by Sheffield United, and I actually don't care. I don't care that they're that underwhelmed. I just want to make sure that we play well for the Blades and obviously pick up the results. And people are going to say to me tonight that it doesn't matter. We've won the game of football. And I agree. I completely agree. All it matters, if you get up to the Premier League, doesn't matter how you've got there. All that matters is that you've got there. And, but I just want to see better football. I want to see us create more chances. And, for me, it wasn't quite good enough tonight. We also saw Ryan Brewster being put through as well, right at the death, didn't we? Great ball. I think it was from Gus, who played Brewster in. He's gone through one-on-one. He's got to be sticking them away. Like, why is he putting lift on that ball at all? It's hitting the crossbar and coming out. But he's got loads of room to do whatever he wants with this. He can push it past the goalkeeper. He can fire it past him. He can go around him. He can dink him. He can do whatever he wants here. And he sort of kind of like fires it, and it's a crossbar. And again, it's not good enough. Like, Brewster obviously has won us this game with a fantastic ball into Raksaki, but we should be putting the game to bed at 3-1 there. There was another chance a little bit earlier on where Cannon goes through and all he's thinking about is shooting. And for me, all he needed to do was take a couple of steps to the right and then play Rexaki in, make it look like he's going to go on his own, play Rexaki in, because we've got all the time in the world. We really have. And just go at him. Just go at him. Like, just because it's 2 against 1 doesn't mean that you can't try and take him on. It's just a bit disappointing that we can't, we're in such a good position. Why are we not trying to take the bull by the horns and scoring goals and worried about it? Because when Cannon is running at the defender there, I never thought for a second that he wouldn't pass. That he would pass it, but he's got to get it on target. He's obviously a confident boy because he's come from Stoke and he's scored loads of goals, but he needs to fire that in the back of the net. I'm disappointed with that. Anyway, let's leave it there. The only real player that's come out with a lot of respect is Gus Harmer. Then you've got the 2 central defenders, Robinson and Ahmed Hodzic, and you've got Cooper, all sort of getting the best rating. Cannon, poor rating. Brereton Diaz, poor rating. Chowdhury, poor rating. Campbell, poor rating. Yeah, we weren't good tonight. We really weren't. And like I keep saying, it was very, very underwhelming. But the lads that came on, Rexaki obviously did well, scored the goal. Ryan Brewster came on and got the assist. Sidney Peck looked like he was trying to move things a little bit quicker. Sam McCallum's always a bit of a handful, and he did all right when he came on, in all honesty. No room for Callum O'Hare, and he didn't even come off the bench, which I was a bit surprised at, because Wilder seems to absolutely adore Callum O'Hare. So I'm really surprised at that, but I don't think 4-2-2-2 works for me, in all honesty. But let's go cracking into some comments, and we'll see what all you guys have got to say. Firstly, oh wow, there's loads. Neil B, we've got a lot of talent in that squad now. It's down to Wilder knowing what to do with it. Absolutely. I said this to somebody around me. It's like we've got a lot of good players, a hell of a lot of good players. So Wilder really needs to show what he's made of and pick the right players at the right time in the right formation. Because it's not an 11-man game. It's really not. You need to pick the right players for the right game against the right team. And that wasn't a good one tonight. We needed to create more chances and score more goals, in my opinion. Gaza S2, terrible performance. We was lucky to get that result. Peck changed the game. He made such a difference. Don't understand why we waited so long to change it. Wilder says it's not about formations, but we obviously need a ball player in midfield. Absolutely agree. I'll catch up later in town, defrosting with a few whiskies. Good man, Gaza. Enjoy yourself, matey. Get some beers down, yeah. Let me give a shout out to somebody that I met earlier in Panenka, by the way. Marcus, aka Wiggy, came up to me, and I apologize. I said my name was Steve. I was just joking around, like I am such a joker. He said, "Is it Nick?" And I'm like, "No, it's Steve. It's Steve." And he looked sad, like he got a big blank look on his face. And I'm like, "I'm only messing. It is me." Big love to him. Saw lots of people today. So respect to the guy at the bar that gave me a tenner for a Madre, and I'm like, it's not a tenner for a Madre. And he said, just take it for the channel. And I'm like, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue with you. Thank you very much. It's been a very nice day. I've enjoyed quite a few beers. Quite often I go with the family, so it's nice to have a few beers and chat to some people. Play like that against Borough and we will lose. Gaza, I think you're absolutely bang on. That was lucky. Again, we can discuss Wilder and performances at some point. I'll caveat this by saying I think Chris Wilder is doing a good job, but for how much longer can we be happy just to squeeze past teams? We just keep doing it, don't we? We just keep doing it. And I'm sure Wilder will be saying, why are people moaning? And I get it to a certain extent. We were lucky to come away with 3 points. I think you're right, Sam. we are meant to be going for automatics. Performances need to be massively improved. There needs to be a style and a proper system. I was talking to Roy from Roy's View from Andrew Panchero, whatever you want to call him, before the game. And he said to me, what do you reckon today? And I'm like, we're bound to blow teams away at some point. But I've been saying this all season, and it's not happening, and it's still not happening. And tonight it didn't happen. The only team that we blew away, and that was Oxford at home. And Oxford, we could have won 6 or 7-0 in that game. They were that bad. So, yeah. And I know people are going to say, it's all relative, because some people are going to say, I can't believe you're moaning at being second in the league because we are 3 points off third at this moment in time. If we get more points than Burnley or the same points as Burnley for the rest of the season, we get promoted. Simple as that. But it's just the way that we're playing right now. It's not good enough for me. It's really not. The atmosphere was very flat. It feels like the players are playing with nervousness, which is putting the fans on edge. I agree, but at the same time, on the South Stand today, all I felt was people moaning at Chowdhury and Vinny Souza for playing backwards and sideways. And yeah, I get it. I'm the same. I don't want to see Souza and Chowdhury passing backwards and sideways all game. I don't want to see that. But the fact that the fans are like, they must feel it from the fans being like, oh, like fans just moaning about it. It's like, just let them play the football. Like, I understand towards the end of the game, if we're not creating the chances, get a bit of moaning in there. But like really early on in the game, like that can't be helpful to players. It really can't. The players need a lift from the terraces. We need to be playing our part, even when we are not playing at our best. I agree. I completely agree. I'm yawning. Johan the Great is saying Burnley are better than Sheff United. Well, clearly this season you are not. You are 3 points behind the Blades, and we've had a 2-point deduction. So, yeah, there you go. We play like we did today. We get battered in the next 3 games. I love how. Let's move on. Today we will be a one-off. How Portsmouth didn't win is beyond me. Lee, you're not wrong, mate. Ian, wow, that was a tough watch. If we don't improve, I'm afraid we might not make it. Poor game, very scrappy, but love the work rate off the bench. Brewster really working for that new contract. Do you know what? I don't think anyone will care about giving Brewster a new contract if he gets us promoted with a few points here and there. I'm not being funny, but Brewster gave us those 2 points today. Raksaki made a great run. That's a fantastic ball from Brewster into Raksaki. So that's 2 points that Brewster's won us. If he keeps going like that, he will get that contract. He will. In other news, just seen Asula miss from a foot out against Birmingham, and Jefferson scores another. Wow, Jefferson is really scoring goals. He's doing bits. Borough will run straight through us on Wednesday. I hope not, Scott. Scraped over the line again. Feel for Portsmouth fans. They deserve something from this game. I agree, Wayne. We've got to give the new lads time to gel. It will click eventually. What's important is we're getting the wins. Cop support once again was lousy. It's not just the Cop, it's the whole ground, in all honesty. Like, I'm on the South Stand, and yeah, the South Stand's not used, it's not expected to be the loudest stand, but it's not a great atmosphere right now. Didn't see the game. Wins that matters. Portsmouth deserves some plaudits. They look best poised to survive. Did beat Borough and drew with Burnley. Arguably should have won that too. Fair enough, completely. Murphy had Clark on toast, Hal says. I agree, completely agree. And he's such a journeyman. I've just been through all the clubs that he's played for recently. And if they're bringing in a player from Oxford to Portsmouth, he should not be having any of our players on toast. Hamza and Souza doesn't work. The gap between them two and forward 4 is too big. I agree. I completely agree. I think it could work for away games. Just home games, no, definitely not. Jared says, agree, away from home, but at home it was terrible. Defense had the ball mostly. I don't know what that says. Went long. Didn't work. Completely agree. I think the Prem Yeah, two defensive midfielders like that works, but in the Championship, we do need that all-rounder in the double pivot. Love a double pivot. Everyone loves a double pivot, don't they? We were all over the place from the side we had out. I expected a great game, but we got the 3 points, even though we didn't deserve it. Absolutely, Andrew. And do you know what I love about these comments that come through? Nobody ever uses punctuation. And when you're reading out comments, punctuation is really, really important because in there definitely should have been a full stop there. And I'm reading it straight through. And luckily, this one, I were able to read it quite well, but normally I'm terrible at reading. It was a crap performance, but let's acknowledge the first goal. Brilliant. I just think it was really easy. I just think it was really, it was a good goal. We scored a good goal, but it was really poor defending. O'Hare plays, he closes down without him. No one closes down, allowing the opposition free reign on their side of the pitch. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. And I'm yawning away. It's because I've had too much to drink. I need to have a sleep. Sorry, joined late, but Mousinho owned him. He owned him today with his tactics, and we were super lucky to get the result. We went with 2 holding DMs, and they just bypassed us completely by going wide. Absolutely right. Awful game from us. Pompey must be gutted. Clark, an improvement at right back? Question mark. Hamza played at centre back, overrated in midfield, obviously. Centre backs so far away from each other, I guess that is. How on earth are we second? Poor performance after poor performance after poor performance. Thank you, Chris. Clark had a shocker. Hamza and BBD were missing. Cannon going to end up being another Brewster. Just watch him making the runs and not being fed quick enough. Sooner or later, he will stop making the runs. Do you know what? You're absolutely right. There's so many players that I look at and think, we were linked with you. If we'd have signed you, I'm not sure you'd have turned out to be the player that you were. Like, I looked at Ollie Watkins. I know we were massively linked with him when us and Villa went up, and we were a little bit similar in terms of players wanting to come to that team. They paid more money. They got Ollie Watkins. And look at him now. He was on A League of Their Own the other day talking about his goal that he scored in the Euros semi-final. I'm not sure he would have been there if he'd have come to United. And then you look at someone like Sander Berger, who we thought was a really good player. Obviously, was very frustrating. He's gone to Burnley. Burnley fans adored him. Then he's got that move to Fulham. Fulham fans adore him, think he's fantastic. It just makes me wonder. It really does. The fair result for today's game would have been the Blades 2 and Portsmouth 8. Yeah, agree. Chris, nice to see you. I've never seen a game where one team has been battered and still managed to pick up the 3 points. Shocking performance. I'll tell you one thing. I remember it like it was yesterday. We played Scunthorpe at home. I think it was either in League One or even before that when Scunny were in the Championship. And we lost 4-0 to Scunthorpe. I think it was 4-0 to Scunthorpe at Bramall Lane. And we had about 50 chances. And it was just like everything that they hit, they scored. Everything that we did hit the post or the bar or something like that. If you remember that, let us know in the comments. Felt like a smash and grab from us today, but we'll take it. Robbo has his tactics, but I thought he was man mountain today and he would have lost the game and would have lost the game without him. Maybe you're right, Carl. Craig Nick could have and should have been 4-1 down at half time if Pompey had taken their easy chances. We'll have to step up with the harder games to come. Too right, mate. We've got some big games coming. We've got Borough, we've got Leeds, we've got Burnley away. We've got some big games. Campbell and Cannon hardly in the game. No service to them. With the lineup we put out up front, we should have had a hatful. Too right. I'll never understand why we can't control a game of football. I just don't understand why we consistently make hard work of whatever team we're up against. You're not wrong. I'm going to quickly just run through some more comments and then we're going to leave it there. What style of play fits our current players? Don't think Wilder even knows. Different players, but same problems when it comes to creating goals. Peck's tackle was brilliant. No foul there. Absolutely. I was shouting my head off at that time because it was a fantastic tackle, and it got. The funny thing is, probably lots of people won't even remember this tackle, but I do. I remember it really well. Because that's your name. Very good tackle. It went in with a little bit of ferocity, but no, it was a good tackle, a really good tackle, and didn't deserve to be yellow card. Pompey here, nice to see you, Pompey. I could have told you how we'd struggle today against the Mushers. The Mushers, that must be a Portsmouth slang term. They made Burnley look ordinary last week at Fratton Park, but we won the game, I suppose. If Portsmouth are playing really well right now and we've won that game, that's all that really matters, I suppose. And Murphy and Richie were always going to feature large. Murphy tore Burnley to bits. To be perfectly honest, those wingers that can swing in those beautiful balls into the box are always going to cause you problems. Good goal from Gus. About time he started to shoot when he cuts in and moves across the box. All too many times he checks back and finishes losing possession. Yeah, it's nice. I always want to see Gus shoot. I'd rather Gus shoot than anybody else. And our back four looks nowhere near automatics or even Premier League standard. We lack a ball carrier up the pitch when Gus and O'Hare and who's AM now? Who's AM? You can't keep doing this to me. You can't do this to me. I don't know who AM is. Why do I know who AM is? Attacking mid. Our attacking mid. Then we have a better attacking profile. Come on, guys. Give me a chance. We can't just keep putting not abbreviations. What are they called? Yeah, abbreviations. Can't keep putting abbreviations in there and expecting me to know what they are. Sousa and Chowdhury have to pass backwards because there's no forward, and they won't go round opposition players. No, we don't seem to have many players that can run through players. Just watch Wilder's response and agree with everything he said. No second or first balls. Arrogant and just thought we could turn up. Not good enough. Lucky to win. That's on Wilder, Brian. I'll be honest. That's on Wilder. He can't just say, "Oh, our players were arrogant." Like, you need to make sure they're not arrogant. You need to say to them, like, you can't just turn up and think that you're going to win. You need to be battling for every ball. That's on the manager. That's not on the players. Like, the players should be thinking that anyway. But the manager needs to drill that into them. You can't be going into this game thinking that you're just going to win it. So Wilder can't just come out and say that. And that don't wash with me. There was a gaping hole in centre midfield with Hamza and Sousa both playing. Wow. Aaron Long probably should give Clark a chance, but miss Gilchrist today. Yeah. Is he much better than Gilchrist? Not sure. Campbell and Cannon not in the game at all. Ain't got a clue how they're at the bottom, or was that a one-off for Portsmouth? No, I don't think so. Alan, if they play against Middlesbrough and Leeds, they will get B. If we play like that, yeah, agreed. I think we could have easily been 5-1 down in the 60th minute, as well as being at least a man down, if not more. Peck took a bad tackle, but was spot on, full-blooded. We love a full-blooded tackle. We're Sheff United. We play Port every week, but we usually win. What a strange season this is. I agree. Our attacking mid. Still not explained it. Like the stream, yes. Make sure you do. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Make sure you like the stream before we go. 100% Nick. Wilder is where the book stops. He's picked this team today and the tactics. We looked uneven and disjointed. I'll be honest, Chris. I think that Wilder, I don't feel like he tells them what to do in training. In all honesty, like we don't look like we've got a style of football, in my opinion. Like under Wilder before, we had a very distinct style, and yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And yes, when it's not going for you and people have worked you out, yes, it's tough to revert to anything else. But right now, I don't feel like we've got a distinct style. I don't know what we do. I don't know what the patterns of play are for us to get the ball for. I feel like it's just get the ball forward and then hope that the attacking players make the right runs and get into the right positions to have a shot. It doesn't. I don't feel like I'm seeing any repeatable patterns of play. It just looks like the same old stuff every single time, and I don't know what that same old stuff is. I'm not enjoying it. We know why Clark was in the reserves now. 3 forwards, all the same. 2 midfielders, the same type. So Saki and Peck changed the game. I agree. It's nuts to me how Harmer was still on the left with Hamza and Souza in centre mid, while Hamza seemed to be playing centre back 1 minute and then free roll. Who knows, mate? Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I'm yawning again. Oh, I'm tired. It's been a tiring time recently with all the videos that we've put out with, us having a life, with us going to work, got 2 kids. It's all very, very tiring. And I don't know how I'm going to deal with it. But we move. We really do. I'm loving life right now. I really am. I'm just very, very tired. And I'll probably fall asleep again tonight on the sofa. So I hope you've enjoyed this, ladies and gents. Let me know what you think in the comments. You can obviously disagree with me as much as you want. Let us know in the comments what you think. That's just my opinion. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you again very, very soon. Up those blades.
Ollie, ollie, ollie.